What happens when Kristen Stewart walks onto a live daytime talk show expecting a thoughtful conversation, only for the discussion to slowly turn tense after a pointed question from Sunny Hostin? What starts as a calm interview begins shifting in a way nobody in the audience expects. Make sure to subscribe to the Star Talks and like and comment for more talk show coverage. The audience applauds as Kristen Stewart walks out, smiling politely, waving once toward the crowd before taking her seat at the table. The energy feels warm, casual. One of those celebrity guest moments where everyone expects stories, laughs, and a little promotion. Sunny smiles across the table. So, Kristen, first of all, thank you for being here. Kristen nods. Thanks for having me. You've been incredibly busy lately, Sunny says. Acting, directing, producing. You seem to keep reinventing yourself. Kristen laughs quietly. I think I just get restless. A few people in the audience laugh softly. Sunny leans in slightly. Restless in a good way? Yeah, Kristen says with a grin. Or maybe an annoying way depending on who you ask. Audience laughter. Another host jumps in. You've always seemed really private, but also really honest. That's kind of a hard balance. Kristen shrugs. Yeah, I don't know if I'm actually good at it. I think I just hate pretending. The audience reacts with a small murmur of approval. Sunny nods thoughtfully. That honesty is interesting because a lot of celebrities today are very curated. Kristen gives a quick smile. That's a nice way to say fake, she jokes. The audience laughs louder. Sunny laughs too, though there's a pause afterward. Well, Sunny says carefully, some people would say there's still a performance in authenticity. Kristen tilts her head slightly. Sure, everyone performs a little. But, Sunny continues, sometimes public figures present themselves as deeply real while still avoiding hard conversations. The tone shifts just slightly. Kristen notices it. What kind of hard conversations? Sunny folds her hands together. Well, things that matter socially, politically, accountability, fame, influence. The audience quiets. Kristen nods once. Okay, Sunny continues. You've spoken publicly before about discomfort with fame and public attention, but some viewers ask, if you dislike celebrity culture so much, why participate in it? The crowd goes quiet. Kristen pauses for half a second. Not angry, not defensive, just thinking. Well, she says slowly, that's fair. A few surprised audience murmurs. Kristen continues, I don't hate people. I don't hate sharing work. I hate the weirdness around celebrity. Sunny presses gently. But you benefit from it. Sure. You profit from it. Kristen nods again. Yeah. So where's the line? A little tension creeps into the room. Kristen shifts slightly in her chair. I think the line is honesty, she says. I don't think I owe people pretending. Sunny raises an eyebrow. But doesn't fame require engagement? Kristen exhales through a small smile. Required by who? Audience laughter breaks the tension for a moment. Sunny smiles too, but doesn't let it go. By the audience. By people who support the work. Kristen pauses. Okay, but support for work doesn't mean ownership over somebody. A few audience members clap. Sunny nods but responds quickly. I don't think anyone's saying ownership. No, Kristen says calmly, but expectations get weird. What do you mean? Kristen leans back slightly. People want you to be a version of yourself they imagined. Sunny interrupts. But isn't that part of being public? Kristen laughs softly. That sounds depressing. Audience laughter. Sunny laughs too. I'm serious. I know, Kristen says, smiling. But seriously, I think there's this thing where people confuse visibility with access. The audience goes quiet again. Sunny watches her carefully. So you think audiences expect too much? Kristen hesitates. Sometimes, yeah. A few murmurs move across the studio. Sunny jumps in. But audiences are why careers happen. Of course, Kristen says quickly. I'm grateful. Totally. So then, Sunny says, why do interviews sometimes feel like something you tolerate instead of enjoy? A little "oh" rises from the audience. Kristen smiles awkwardly. That's a strong question. Sunny laughs. Well, this is live television. Audience laughter. Kristen pauses. Honestly, please. I think sometimes interviews stop feeling like conversations and start feeling like traps. The room shifts again. Sunny blinks. Traps. Yeah, Kristen says carefully. Like people already know what they want you to say. Sunny leans back slightly. You think we're trapping you? A beat. Kristen shakes her head. No, I didn't say that. But you implied it. Another host quickly jumps in with a nervous laugh. Oh no, now we're getting spicy. Audience laughter breaks the silence again. Kristen smiles but looks more serious now. I'm saying sometimes conversations become less about curiosity and more about performance. Sunny crosses her arms loosely. For who? For everybody. The audience quiets again. For me, Kristen says. For hosts. For TV. For public expectations. Sunny nods slowly. That's interesting because some people would hear that and think you're dismissing what interviewers actually do. Kristen shakes her head immediately. No, not dismissing. But critiquing? Sure, Kristen says. Sunny jumps in again. So critique us. Audience murmurs. Kristen laughs once, uncomfortable. You really want me to? Yes. There's a pause. Kristen looks toward the crowd for a second. The room suddenly feels much smaller. I think, she begins slowly. Sometimes daytime TV likes conflict more than honesty. A loud audience reaction. Half gasps. Half laughter. Sunny blinks. Oh, one host immediately reacts. Okay. Audience laughter. Sunny straightens slightly. That's interesting. Kristen nods once. I mean, look, I get it. Debate works. Sunny interrupts. You think we manufacture disagreement? Kristen hesitates. Not always. Sometimes. The room tightens. Kristen exhales. I think television likes emotional escalation. A long pause. Sunny gives a measured smile. So are we escalating right now? Audience laughter erupts. Kristen laughs too. I mean, she glances around the table. You tell me. The audience reacts loudly. Sunny laughs, though the smile looks tighter now. Oh, so now I'm the villain? No, Kristen says quickly. I'm asking because I think viewers deserve clarity. Kristen nods. Fair. Sunny leans in again. Let me ask this differently. Do you think people like me, women asking hard questions on television, get criticized for simply doing our jobs? The tone changes again. Suddenly more serious. Kristen notices. Her expression softens. No, that's not what I'm saying. Then what are you saying? Kristen pauses. The audience becomes completely silent. I think intention matters. Sunny nods slowly. Meaning? Kristen chooses her words carefully. Sometimes a question wants understanding. She pauses. Sometimes a question wants a moment. The crowd reacts immediately. A few gasps. A few claps. Sunny sits still for a second. You think I'm looking for a moment? Kristen looks directly at her. I don't know. Silence. Then nervous audience laughter. One host quietly says, Oh wow. The camera energy feels different now. Less relaxed. More uncertain. Sunny gives a small smile. Well, I definitely wasn't expecting this answer today. Kristen laughs softly. Me neither. The audience laughs, but the tension hasn't disappeared. Sunny looks toward the table before turning back. Okay, we're going to keep talking because I actually think this conversation just got interesting. The audience applause fades, but the room still feels tense in that strange daytime TV way. Polite smiles covering real discomfort. Sunny folds her hands together again and lets out a quick laugh. Okay, she says. I'm going to stay here because now I'm curious. Kristen nods once. That's fair. You said something important, Sunny continues. That sometimes questions are looking for understanding, and sometimes they're looking for a moment. Kristen shifts in her chair slightly. Yeah. So, Sunny asks, how do you tell the difference? The audience quiets again. Kristen pauses before answering. I think tone, timing, energy. Sunny raises an eyebrow. Energy. Yeah, Kristen says. Like when somebody asks something and you can feel they already decided what your answer means. A low murmur moves through the audience. Sunny responds quickly. But isn't that unfair to interviewers? Kristen nods. Probably sometimes. Sunny leans in. So what about accountability? A host beside them jumps in carefully. Because I think that's what Sunny's getting at. Kristen turns toward her. Sure. The host continues. If someone has influence, shouldn't there be difficult questions? Kristen nods immediately. Yes, totally. Sunny looks surprised. Okay, so we agree there. Yeah, Kristen says. I'm not anti-hard question. Then what bothers you? Kristen exhales. The performance of conflict. The audience reacts again. Sunny laughs lightly. We're on a talk show. Audience laughter. I know, Kristen says with a grin. Which is why I'm trying not to sound obnoxious. Laughter spreads through the room. Sunny smiles but presses again. But conflict can be healthy. Absolutely. So why frame it negatively? Kristen thinks for a second. Because sometimes disagreement becomes entertainment before it becomes conversation. The audience goes quiet. Sunny crosses one leg over the other. Interesting. Kristen continues, calmer now. Like, if two people disagree, cool. That's real. Life is messy. Okay, but there's a difference between a disagreement and pushing something until it turns into a headline. A few audience members clap softly. Sunny notices immediately. So now we're talking headlines. Kristen gives a small smile. You know what I mean. Sunny laughs once. No, explain. Another host jumps in, trying to lighten the mood. Oh Lord, we're doing media criticism before lunch. Audience laughter breaks the tension. Kristen laughs too. I'm not attacking anybody. Sunny interrupts. But you're critiquing a system. Yes. And we're part of that system. Kristen pauses. Sure. Sunny nods slowly. So let me ask you something directly. Okay. Do you think shows like this exploit emotion? The audience goes silent. Kristen immediately shakes her head. I think all television shapes emotion. That's not the same answer. I know. Sunny waits. Kristen looks down for a second, then back up. I think audiences are smart. A few cheers. I think people can tell when something feels honest and when something feels engineered. Sunny responds immediately. But people also love drama. Audience laughter. True, Kristen says. You watch arguments online? Unfortunately. You click. Kristen laughs. Sometimes. Exactly, Sunny says, smiling wider now. So if audiences reward conflict, are we wrong for responding to what viewers engage with? The audience applauds. Kristen nods slowly. That's actually a good point. A few surprised audience sounds. Sunny smiles. Oh, thank you. Kristen laughs. No, seriously. She leans forward slightly. That's fair. But I guess I wonder where the responsibility goes. What responsibility? To not turn every disagreement into a war. The audience claps again. Sunny's expression sharpens slightly. But disagreement matters. Yes. And passion matters. Yes. And accountability matters. Yes. Sunny gestures lightly. So what's the issue? Kristen pauses. The speed. Sunny blinks. The speed? Yeah, Kristen says. Like, everything escalates immediately now. Audience murmurs. One uncomfortable moment becomes outrage. A host nods. That's social media. Exactly, Kristen says. Sunny jumps in. But we can't blame television for social media. No, Kristen says. But I think everybody feeds everybody. The audience reacts with soft applause. Sunny tilts her head. So when people talk about you online, what bothers you? Kristen laughs quietly. How much time do we have? Big audience laughter. Sunny smiles. No, seriously. Kristen shrugs. I don't mind criticism. You don't? No. Sunny looks skeptical. Really? Yeah. So headlines don't bother you? Kristen pauses. Sometimes. Comments. Depends. What bothers you then? Kristen grows more thoughtful. When people flatten people. The room quiets. Sunny waits. Kristen continues. Like when somebody becomes one thing. How? She's difficult. He's fake. She hates interviews. She's angry. Kristen gestures with her hands. Everybody becomes a sentence. The audience goes quiet. A few people clap softly. Sunny nods slowly. That's actually interesting. Kristen smiles faintly. Thanks. But let me challenge that, Sunny says. Please. You're saying people oversimplify public figures. But public figures also simplify issues. Kristen pauses. True. And celebrities speak on serious things sometimes without expertise. A few audience members clap loudly. Kristen nods again. That's fair. Sunny continues. So if someone with influence speaks publicly, shouldn't they expect hard scrutiny? Yes. Sunny pauses. But. Kristen laughs quietly. You really heard the but. Audience laughter. Yes, but, Kristen says, smiling. I think scrutiny and assumption are different. Sunny leans closer. Explain. Kristen takes a second. Hard questions are cool. Audience laughter at her phrasing. No, seriously, Kristen says. Ask difficult things. Sunny nods. But if someone walks in and it feels like the conclusion already exists. She shrugs. Then why are we talking? The audience reacts with scattered applause. Sunny glances briefly toward the crowd. You think I walked in with conclusions? Kristen hesitates. The room gets still again. I think. She stops. Audience nervous laughter. Sunny laughs too. Oh, come on now. Kristen smiles awkwardly. This is dangerous. Audience laughter. No, Sunny says. Say it. Kristen chooses her words carefully. I think sometimes questions come with expectations. Sunny sits back. That sounds diplomatic. It is diplomatic. Big audience laughter. Sunny laughs despite herself. You're very careful. I'm trying. A co-host finally jumps in. Can I just say something? The audience applauds. Because I feel like everyone at home is screaming at the TV. Laughter. You two are actually agreeing more than disagreeing. Sunny turns toward her. How? The host gestures between them. Sunny's saying public figures should answer tough questions. Kristen nods. And Kristen's saying tough questions shouldn't become gotcha moments. Audience applause. Kristen points. Yes. Sunny pauses. Okay, but here's where I disagree. The room settles again. Sometimes a question feels uncomfortable because it matters. Kristen nods slowly. That's true. Sunny continues. And people in power, yes, celebrities too, don't always love discomfort. The audience claps loudly. Kristen listens quietly. Sunny's voice softens slightly. I'm asking genuinely. How do you separate a question that's unfair from a question that simply hits a nerve? The room goes silent. Kristen looks down briefly. Then back up. That's actually hard. Sunny nods. Exactly. Kristen thinks for a second. I guess. She pauses. You sit in the discomfort. The audience quiets. Sunny watches carefully. Kristen continues. You ask yourself why you reacted. A host nods slowly. Kristen shrugs. Maybe somebody touched a real thing. Sunny smiles faintly. So you're saying criticism can be useful? Yes. And uncomfortable conversations matter. Yes. Sunny smiles wider. Well then maybe daytime TV isn't completely evil. Audience laughter erupts. Kristen laughs hard for the first time. No, I didn't say evil. Sunny grins. You implied it. More laughter. Kristen shakes her head. You really don't let things go. Sunny points at her. That's my job. Audience applause. Kristen smiles, but then Sunny's expression shifts again. More serious. Can I ask one thing? Sure. Sunny pauses. And be honest. Kristen laughs nervously. That sentence always scares me. Big audience laughter. Sunny smiles. When you came out here today. She pauses. Did you already expect this kind of conversation from me? The audience goes completely quiet. Kristen lets out a short laugh, the kind people make when they're buying time. The audience waits. A few nervous chuckles ripple through the room. She shifts slightly in her chair. You really know how to end a segment question. Audience laughter. Sunny smiles but stays focused. I'm serious. Kristen glances briefly toward the table, then back at Sunny. Honestly, please. A pause. Kind of. The audience reacts immediately. A mix of gasps and low murmurs. Sunny raises her eyebrows. Kind of. Kristen nods carefully. Not in a bad way. Sunny leans back. Okay, define not bad. Audience laughter. Kristen smiles. I expected real questions. That sounds polite. It is polite, Kristen says, laughing. Big audience laughter. Sunny shakes her head, smiling. No, seriously. Kristen exhales. I think every host has an energy. Sunny listens. Some people want comfort. She gestures lightly. Some people want chaos. Audience laughter. And some people, Kristen says carefully, looking at Sunny, want clarity. The room quiets. Sunny studies her expression for a second. Clarity. Yeah. Kristen nods. You ask direct questions. Sunny crosses her arms loosely. And that made you nervous? A little. Audience laughter. Sunny looks genuinely amused now. Me? Yes, you. The audience laughs louder. Sunny turns toward the crowd. Guys, I'm terrifying apparently. Applause and laughter. Kristen smiles. No, but seriously. Her expression becomes more thoughtful. I think when you know someone's going to ask harder questions, you mentally prepare. Sunny nods slowly. For defense. No. Kristen pauses. For honesty. That lands quietly. The audience softens. Sunny tilts her head. Interesting answer. Kristen shrugs. I mean, what's the alternative? Sunny jumps in quickly. Media training. Huge audience laughter. Kristen laughs immediately. Oh my God. You know what I mean, Sunny says. The polished celebrity answer. Kristen grins. Yeah, I'm really bad at that. Audience applause. A co-host laughs. We noticed. Big laughter. Kristen points playfully. Exactly. Sunny smiles but circles back. So when you said earlier that interviews can feel like traps. Kristen nods. Was that about experiences you've had? A brief pause. Kristen takes a second. Yeah. Sunny waits. Kristen continues carefully. I think there have been moments where you walk into something expecting a conversation and realize someone's trying to get a quote. The audience murmurs. Sunny nods slowly. A headline. Yeah. And that changes things. Totally. Kristen leans forward a little now. Because suddenly you're not talking to somebody. The room quiets. You're surviving something. The audience reacts softly. Sunny watches her closely. That sounds exhausting. It can be. Sunny nods once. But can I offer another perspective? Kristen gestures. Yeah. Sunny folds her hands. Sometimes journalists, interviewers, hosts. She motions around the table. Are trying to cut through PR language. Audience applause. Kristen nods. Fair. Because audiences hate fake. Yes. And celebrities complain about being misunderstood while also giving rehearsed answers. The audience claps again. Kristen laughs quietly. That's true too. Sunny points lightly. So maybe the tension exists because both sides don't trust each other. The audience murmurs approval. Kristen pauses. Honestly, yeah. The room relaxes for a second. Sunny smiles. See? Progress. Audience laughter. But then Kristen adds quietly. I do think there's fear though. The room settles again. Sunny notices immediately. Fear. Kristen nods. Yeah. Fear of what? Kristen hesitates. Getting frozen in one bad moment. The audience quiets. Sunny leans in. What do you mean? Kristen exhales. You say one awkward thing. She pauses. One imperfect sentence. And suddenly that's who you are online. Audience murmurs. She hates women. She's rude. She's difficult. She snapped. Kristen shrugs slightly. It becomes permanent. Sunny listens carefully. But isn't criticism part of public life? Yes. Kristen nods immediately. I'm not saying nobody should criticize people. Then what? Kristen thinks for a second. I guess I wish people made more room for complexity. The audience claps softly. Sunny nods. Okay. Kristen continues. Like, someone can say something clumsy and not be evil. Audience reaction grows louder. A co-host jumps in. Internet disagrees. Huge laughter. Kristen laughs too. Exactly. Sunny smiles. Okay, but complexity works both ways. Kristen nods. How? Sunny gestures lightly. People watching at home are complicated too. The audience applauds. Someone hears a celebrity say something careless. She pauses. And it affects them. Kristen listens quietly. So emotional reactions aren't fake either. Kristen nods. No, absolutely. Sunny softens a little. I think viewers sometimes feel celebrities dismiss criticism as noise. Kristen pauses. That's fair. The audience reacts to her willingness to agree. Sunny notices. You say fair a lot. Audience laughter. Kristen smiles. I know. You know why? Why? Sunny grins. Because you hate conflict. The audience bursts into laughter. Kristen laughs harder. That is so not true. Oh, Sunny raises an eyebrow. You literally said TV escalates tension. Kristen grins. I said unnecessary escalation. Sunny laughs. Very loyally. Audience laughter. Another host jumps in. Can we talk about the elephant in the room? The audience reacts instantly. Sunny laughs. Oh. The co-host turns to Kristen. Do you think Sunny came for you today? Huge audience reaction. Kristen immediately laughs in disbelief. Oh my God. Sunny throws her hands up jokingly. Finally, audience laughter and applause. Kristen shakes her head. No. The co-host leans in. That sounded fast. More laughter. No, seriously, Kristen says. No. Sunny smiles but watches carefully. But. Audience laughter. Kristen laughs. There's always a but with you. Big laughter erupts. Sunny points. Answer the question. Kristen exhales dramatically. I think. The audience grows quiet again. I think you push. Sunny nods. Yes. And I think sometimes pushing can feel intense. Sunny leans back. That's fair. The audience reacts with surprise. Kristen looks surprised too. Oh. Sunny laughs. No, seriously. She gestures toward the audience. I don't mind that. The crowd applauds. I ask hard questions, Sunny continues. Sometimes people love it, sometimes they don't. Kristen nods. Right. But, Sunny adds, I'd rather somebody tell me honestly than smile and complain backstage. The audience gives an audible ooh. Kristen's eyebrows rise slightly. Oh wow. Sunny laughs. No names. Audience erupts again. Kristen laughs harder now. That was spicy. Sunny grins. You said we like moments. Huge laughter. Kristen shakes her head, smiling. See? This is what I mean. Sunny laughs. Okay. A host beside them wipes tears from laughing. I'm sorry, this is actually fun now. Audience applause. The mood loosens. For the first time since the interview began, the tension feels less sharp and more honest. Sunny glances at Kristen again. Can I ask something personal? Kristen groans jokingly. That sentence never ends well. Big laughter. Sunny smiles. You've talked about discomfort with attention. Kristen nods. But you also keep showing up. The audience quiets. Movies. Interviews. Public conversations. Sunny pauses. So what keeps you coming back? Kristen goes quiet for a second. Her expression changes. More sincere now. Because I care. The room softens immediately. Sunny waits. Kristen speaks slower. I care about work. She shrugs lightly. I care about conversations. The audience stays silent. And honestly, she pauses. Even uncomfortable conversations. Sunny smiles faintly. Really? Kristen nods. Yeah. She glances around the table. I just want them to feel real. The audience applauds warmly. Sunny looks thoughtful. Then after a brief pause, she asks quietly, Do you think this conversation has been real? The room falls completely silent again. The room goes completely quiet. Kristen looks at Sunny Hostin for a second, then laughs softly under her breath. You really saved the hardest one for last. Audience laughter breaks the silence. Sunny smiles. I try. Kristen leans back slightly, thinking. Then she nods. Yeah. The audience quiets again. Yeah, Kristen repeats. I actually do. Sunny watches carefully. Even with the tension? Kristen shrugs lightly. Especially with the tension. A few audience members clap. Kristen gestures between them. Because this feels like two people disagreeing and actually talking. Sunny tilts her head. So disagreement doesn't bother you? No. Kristen smiles faintly. Pretending bothers me. Audience applause grows louder. Sunny nods slowly. That's fair. Kristen continues. I mean, we disagreed on stuff. Sunny laughs. We definitely did. Audience laughter. But, Kristen says, nobody stormed off. Big laughter. Nobody yelled. More laughter. And honestly, she pauses. You pushed me a little. Sunny points immediately. See? Audience laughter erupts. Kristen laughs too. No, but seriously. She turns towards Sunny more directly. You asked things that made me stop and think. The audience softens. And I don't hate that. Sunny's expression relaxes. Well, thank you. Kristen smiles. You're welcome. One of the co-hosts jumps in. Can I just say, this got way deeper than I expected before lunch. Huge audience laughter. Sunny laughs. I know. Another host leans in. I thought we were getting movie stories, and instead we got media ethics. More laughter. Kristen grins. Sorry. No, the host says quickly. I loved it. Audience applause. Sunny glances toward Kristen again. You know what's funny? What? When this started, I thought you were annoyed with me. Kristen laughs immediately. Oh, I was nervous. Nervous? Yes. Audience laughter. Sunny puts a hand dramatically over her chest. Me? Scary. The audience laughs loudly. Kristen smiles. A little. Sunny laughs. That's incredible. Kristen shakes her head. No, because you're sharp. The audience reacts with a warm awe. Sunny smiles wider than before. Well, thank you. A co-host jumps in. And for the record, Kristen, people get nervous with Sunny all the time. Big audience laughter. Sunny points across the table. Rude. More laughter. The mood feels lighter now. Less tense. More open. Sunny turns serious for a moment. But I do want to say something. The audience quiets. I appreciate you staying in it. Kristen nods. What do you mean? Sunny gestures lightly. You didn't shut down. She pauses. You disagreed. Kristen nods. You challenged things. Another pause. But you stayed. The audience applauds warmly. Kristen smiles, almost shyly. I mean, she shrugs. You asked me to be honest. Sunny laughs. Dangerous thing to ask on live TV. Audience laughter. Kristen laughs too. Apparently, the conversation loosens into smaller moments after that. Another host asks Kristen about upcoming projects. Someone jokes about awkward interviews. The audience laughs when Kristen admits, I'm probably going to replay this in my head later and think, why did I say any of that? Huge laughter. Sunny immediately responds, oh, same. More laughter. As the segment begins wrapping up, the energy in the room feels different than it did an hour earlier. Not necessarily lighter, just warmer. Messier in a human way. Sunny looks toward the camera. Well, whether you agreed with us or yelled at your television. Audience laughter. This was a conversation. Applause rises. Kristen smiles. That part one liked. The audience stands for a louder round of applause as the segment ends. Some people are clapping harder than before. A few are still laughing. Others look like they're replaying the discussion in their heads. As the cameras briefly pull wider and the show transitions toward commercial, Sunny leans toward Kristen with a smile. See, you survived. Kristen laughs. Barely. Audience laughter. Later, clips from the exchange begin spreading online. Short moments. Kristen saying, sometimes a question wants understanding. Sometimes a question wants a moment. Sunny responding, sometimes a question feels uncomfortable because it matters. Their back and forth starts conversations everywhere. Some viewers praise Sunny for asking difficult questions and refusing to back down. Others praise Kristen for staying calm, thoughtful, and willing to disagree without becoming hostile. A lot of comments land somewhere in the middle. Finally, adults disagreeing without screaming. That was awkward but weirdly respectful. More interviews like this, please. Kristen actually made good points. Sunny pushed hard but listened. Clips trend across entertainment pages. Comment sections fill with debates about celebrity culture, interviews, accountability, and whether talk shows sometimes chase tension too aggressively. By later that afternoon, entertainment blogs and viewers are replaying moments from the conversation, not because somebody exploded or walked off set, but because two people stayed uncomfortable long enough to actually talk. Backstage, according to staff chatter, the mood is surprisingly relaxed. No dramatic exit. No shouting. No icy silence. Kristen reportedly stops to thank the team before leaving. Sunny jokes to producers. Well, that was lively. The hosts laugh about the tension after cameras stop rolling, replaying some of the sharper moments with the same mix of disbelief and humor audiences felt watching at home. And maybe that's what made it linger. Not a meltdown. Not chaos. Just a difficult conversation that slowly became something more honest. Now we want to hear from you. Were you on Kristen's side, Sunny's side, or somewhere in the middle? Share your opinion in the comments and subscribe to the Star Talks for more real talk show stories.